Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Today is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. I'm hoping you guys have a wonderful day. It's 10 a.m. on the East Coast, New York City, and my name is Nate, lawyer, YouTuber, and today, I don't know what's going on. It's so cold out here today. It's funny, I hear myself in the background. Let me check out the chat to see who's here with me today. I'm surprised. Oh, there's 13 people watching. I'm surprised everybody's up this early on a Sunday. Rowan, what's going on? Oh, brother John, Lamarte, how's everybody doing out there in this cruel, cruel world? The world is so cruel. What's on? I gotta turn up I haven't done streams outside so long. It's now starting to bother me a little bit just even looking at the screen because like the sunlight is like glaring down on me. So yeah, people, I am still in quarantine, but I said I'm gonna do a live stream like I used to do back in the day on Sunday, and it is it's pretty cold out here. It's like really, really cold. Vincent, what's going on, brother? Dove Kitty, what's up? What's up? So it's been an exciting couple of days, right, for me and the channel. So this week has been a real interesting week. In this week, I've gone from being worse than Earl David Warden to being, I don't know. It's just been so crazy. Hey, Athena, what's going on? It is crazy. What is outside? Actually, nothing. Nothing's going on outside. Uncivil Law, what's going on, my brother? Nothing's going on outside. It is like a ghost town out here. I see only cars I see more cop cars, interestingly enough, more cop cars than actually regular cars on the street. Driving around, I should say. You gotta be more specific. So what's been going on? Well, earlier, about 3-4 hours ago, I got a message from GMan. Now, for those of you who don't know, GMan is another creator here on YouTube. He has about 12,000 subs. He's a Christian, and the guy's not really a wealth of knowledge or any type of critical thinking, but we used to hang out back in the day. And then GMan, he has a little issue with, how do I say? He thinks that everyone is like, he's very big into conspiracies, right? He thinks I'm conspiring with drag and all this other crazy stuff. So G-Man reached back out to me and to say, to kind of say what's up. And then matter of fact, let me read you his message. Let me read you G-Man's message. First let me read the message and then I'll let you guys know what I think about it, because I found it to be interesting. And I didn't know what to think, but let me pull it up so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, and I don't mischaracterize the poor man. All right, where is the message? Here we go. It's here. All right, so G-Man says, he asked me, he says, how's your eye? And you still owe me one more game of ping pong. Now, he said about 4 hours ago. On one of my in the comment section on one of my videos, and I was kind of surprised. I was shocked, to be honest with you. I was shocked that he contacted me. I was like, well, why is G-Man contacting me to hang out? To do ping pong. Things that he said, but it made me think: have I stopped becoming or stopped being who I am because of this internet stuff? Has this internet stuff affected me to the point where I'm not who I am anymore? Like, for those of you who don't know why he's asking me about my eyes, because if you look at my right eye, it's atrophying. It's been atrophying for a while. And I was supposed to have an operation to get this eye taken out. So what happens is, maybe about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I was told that I was going to have the eye removed. And I went through the procedure of getting fitted for a prosthetic eye. And we were waiting for, as the doctor said, okay, well, you don't have to get it done now, but in, maybe in about 6-7 months, you're going to have to get it done because your eye is going to essentially die in the eye socket, so before it gets infected and all that stuff, you're going to have to get it out and get something back in. So what they did, they gave me medication to increase blood flow to the eye and, and sent me on my way. So they said, when it starts getting too bad, we're going to make the move. But actually, the doctor was pushing me to get the eye removed back then. But I said, nah, let me try to hold on for it as long as possible. So that's kind of, and GMan knew this. GMan knew this from when we were hanging out, and he was real sympathetic to that, and it was all cool. And then so after about a year and a half, I don't want to say they were wrong, but I haven't needed to get it taken out. But as you can see, when you see my eye now, because I'm outside, I have to have the shaded glasses on. But when you see my eye, it's really bad. Matter of fact, I think I can poke at you. You can see it now, my right eye. It's really bad. It's almost gone. So it's let me see. What did it say? I found an actual channel with 13K subs. Wow. Yeah, GMan has 13,000 subs. Yeah, a lot of those are hate subs, but it's cool. Happy for success. So at this point in time, it kind of was just like, well, let me blow up this chat so I can see it. So at this time, it was kind of like, yeah, well, so GMan, let me go back. So GMan knew about all of this for all this time, and I'm kind of surprised why he's reaching back out to me. And the fact that he's reaching back out to me now, saying, sorry about the eye thing, it made me kind of think, am I still the person who I was before I started this YouTube thing? And I'll explain why. When I started this whole thing, I was just in here, just honestly, because I thought everyone was, I wanted to meet interesting people. I wanted to have interesting conversations. I wanted to challenge people's ideas, and I wanted them to challenge my ideas. Right? That's why we joined this philosophical community. We didn't want to think like everyone else. We wanted to be challenged with our thinking. And I've always said to myself, it's not about the person. It's always about the arguments and what they're presenting. Now, sometimes you just get people who are just so disgusting that you don't want to speak to, and that's wherever you go. But generally, I have never been one to hold a grudge. So now, do I take GMan up on his offer? Do I go and hang out with him and play him in ping pong again? I don't know. I thought it was a no, but then I started thinking about it. That's just not who I am. I remember being, when I was a kid, and even sometimes in the 20s, where you get in beef with someone, you guys fight it out, and then afterwards you go to a bar and have some fun and relax and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't. It's probably going to be a no for me, probably, to be honest with you. But just so everyone knows, GMan, I forgive you. I have no ill will towards you. I think your arguments are crap, and I think a lot of things that you do is kind of irrational. And I think sometimes you have to kind of self-reflect on your behavior and have some impulse control. But I am not your enemy, and I never have been. And I hope if you want to play ping pong, you just got contact me, and we'll see. But there's been a lot of things that have happened over the past couple of months that I think we'd have to talk about before we start engaging again at that level where we go out to play ping pong and things of that nature. But otherwise, yeah, sure, you can hit me up. I'm open to that. And thanks for thanks for reaching out. And thanks for inquiring about the eye. So GMan, I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think? Nate, we are all crazy friends. If you still consider him such, then go for it. But if you just matter of self-doubt, then stay strong. Thanks, Thomas Walsh. Yeah. I don't consider him. Do I consider GMan a friend? No, I don't consider him a friend. But I always consider to give second chances. You know what I mean? And I think Nate, fuck him. That's kind of how I was like when I woke up this morning. That's what I was feeling. But my wife even, she mentioned, she was like, you seem to have been changing. And it made me self-reflect, I want to play and let's drink at the bar. That's true. Uncivil law. That's true. I want to play. Oh, let me. I forget. I can put these things up. You see, I'm being stupid. All right. So here's Dragnot. Here's uncivil law, so you guys can see what I'm reading. All right. Here's another one. Oh, it says. Oops. All right. It says, "LOL, Gary." Oops. This is Gary's not to be trusted. Sorry, let me put it so I can read it. It says, "Gary's not to be trusted. That said, posted, it will not be fun to see 5'11" Nate standing next to the shorter guy." That's gold, man. That's gold. That's gold. That's gold. Oh, so, so yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. So it seems like most people are saying, don't don't associate with this guy anymore, and maybe that's probably the right move to make. So I don't know. It's it's something that I'm thinking about, but we'll see, because the guy's never done anything bad to me, and I enjoyed when we hung out, but it's just I've never been an absolutist, especially when it comes to relationships, because people make mistakes, like, and it really took to show you how crazy this is. This is hello, why not go to Unirock show, talk about McRape. Would be very good. Well, let me transfer to that too. Let's talk about the elephant in the room and the McCray and stuff. Thanks, Skeptical Steve. My family's doing well, thank you. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. When it comes to McCray, after, and this all kind of happened this morning after GMan did his thing, sent the message, and then I went to then I started thinking about just the whole past couple of weeks and things of that nature, and I hadn't checked my DMs, so I started checking my DMs and stuff like that, and something weird happened. I started seeing people were sending me messages from, what's her name, Sweet Heathen, about her retracting some of the statements, and and essentially, without going into it, she said that it was just an error of judgment, and she was just speaking off the cuff, something like that. And I thought to myself, so I saw G-Man's message, I saw what Sweet Heathen was saying, and I thought to myself, wow, how did this get so out of hand? Think about it, people. How did it get out of hand to the point where Steve McCray presented an argument? I started debunking those arguments, right? Earl Warden's a great guy, and he's an innocent man. Here's the evidence that he's not an innocent man. Atheism means this in philosophy. Here's the evidence that it doesn't mean this philosophy. Just debunking arguments. Just like Red's Rhetoric, he debunks flat Earth arguments. This other guy debunks political arguments. Now I'm pro-lib. I debunk philosophical arguments and legal arguments. So we all have our little debunking here. So that's what I did with that's what I did with Steve. And he started labeling me, a troll and all these other things because of the debunking. And I understand that. But I never thought that it would get to the point where someone would be saying that I was worse than an offender, or that I was in any way worse than Earl David Warder, for instance. That just didn't make sense to me. And I think in trying to figure out what did I do to make someone even think that about me, it's just incredible. It was incredible. And at that point in time, now I understand that we all make mistakes, right? We all make mistakes, right? If I want to say this, and hopefully Sweet Heathen won't see this, and if she doesn't, forget it, whatever. But if I have done anything to offend you in any way, I apologize. Go on with your life. Don't associate with me. That's the reason why I blocked you 8 months ago on Twitter, because it seemed like me and you didn't have a friendly rapport. So if you want to go and say horrible things about me, I will not stop you. You can criticize me all you want. I won't associate with you. I don't want to associate with anybody you say. If people put out poor information that that I feel that the public should be challenged, I'm going to challenge it. But I don't have to speak to you to do that. Like when Steve says, I never want to speak to Nate Brody again. That's fine. I respect that. I will not contact him, do anything with Steve McCrae. I will not contact him or try to contact him. No, go, great. Do your thing. That's fine. But if you put out arguments that are poor arguments, I'll criticize those arguments, but I don't have to have anything to do with you, right? There's a difference there. But I think the response is just an ad hominem. So for Steve McCrae, if he can have at it, he can. That's why now, even think about how bad it was last night with this show, Sherelle, or whatever the name of that show is. Steve McCrae has become so toxic that people bombed her with all of this evidence of the rape apologist stuff and all this other stuff, and she canceled more or less canceled their interview last night. And to be honest with you, I don't want to say I was disappointed, because I wasn't disappointed, but it really let me see how bottom of the barrel Steve McCrae has gotten. You know what I'm saying? Like, even speaking this person's name is not going to help anybody, because I think most people know the tactics. I think most people have their eyes open. In the past 3 days, I've had, no lie, about 10 people who used to call me a dirtbag, used to call me a scumbag, come and apologize and say, hey, they believe Steve Junk. And now, and I can name off names, but I don't want to embarrass them, because it's sad. There's one guy who is so critical to me in all my videos. This guy was comment every time. I always left his comments up. People were attacking him. And then one time in the comment section, when people were attacking him, I said, well, listen, no, I am not going to block this guy, because he can criticize me all he wants. That's his right. And it was, it's fair. It's fair criticism. He could say, I'm an idiot, and, that's all fair. But I won't block him, because he should, if you say something that's off the cuff, or that's crazy, then yeah, you may get blocked. But otherwise, just saying that I'm an idiot for thinking this way and my conclusions are wrong, that's fine. That is okay. That's what I'm here for. That's the reason why I make the video. If I just wanted to make videos that only people agree with, then I wouldn't make videos. So yeah, so that's what that was about. And now this person, after what happened the past 2 days, has come and said, had made it very clear that they are on my side, that they are, agree that I didn't harm anybody, that all the months and months of them being involved in it, there was no harm. There was nothing like that. And to be fair, and this is why I'm apologizing to Sweet Heathen, she has come out and said that there was really no harm. There was like this intent to harm. And she was even speaking off the cuff, right? She's put in comments, she's speaking off the cuff, and she was an emotional time and some other. So if that's the case, and people can make mistakes, nobody's perfect. This interaction that we're having here, there's going to be something that I can say that may be wrong, that I may not have any evidence for. And it's fine. It's fine for us to do that. But understand that when it happens, you go and you say, okay, I'm sorry. I've made a mistake, and that's it. And we can't hold each other for these things forever, right? So if she was just speaking off the cuff, and she just, and she was asked a question and she said something that she now regrets, then who am I to hold it against her? You know what I'm saying? There's a saying, if you're looking for the perfect person, you're looking for the perfect liar. It's like that. That's what it is. So going on record, I don't want anything to do with neither Steve, Sweet Heathen, Cheshire, that whole group. I don't want anything to do with them. And they are more than welcome to come and criticize any of my videos or any of my points, but I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to have any interactions with them. And I think that's fair, and I think that's probably going to be the best way forward. But with that said, I have one last video that I promised you guys about philosophical atheism and what it is. And recording that video. Oh, let me read this. Skeptical Steve, maybe though Nate Brody, she regrets it. Let me see this. She regrets it because she got so much pushback. Wonder if everyone took her side. If everybody took her side, she felt the same way. Yeah, possibly. But you know what? the community, I think the community speaks, right? Where you have people who say, okay, this is too far. And I think they went to a point where it became too far. But you got to give credit where credit is due to someone to say, okay, so, I'll give her that credit and say, okay, well, I accept that and let's just move on, you know? Yeah, I agree, Tony. You don't start rumors, but, let's just, I think it's just time to just move on. And, hopefully she'll have a happy Mother's Day because nobody deserves to be going through this crap on Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? And I believe she's a mother. I don't know for a fact, but, maybe she is, maybe she's not. But if she is, hopefully she'll have a happy Mother's Day. And hopefully, this will make that day go even better because I'm not going to respond to any more of this stuff on Twitter. It just doesn't, at this point, doesn't make sense. It's beneath us all. It's beneath me. It's beneath Steve. It's beneath us all. And I understand me criticizing his argument because just so we can all know where this thing started. Steve started saying I was harming him because Matt Dillahunty retweeted my takedown of Steve, right? I took down Steve's argument, and then Steve went, and the first thing he responded to Matt Dillahunty with was that I was harming him and his family. Now, that was his response to Matt Dillahunty. And then he kept it going. He went to Modern Day Debate and said it because, people were saying that that I would, why not debate Nate? Because I had told Modern Day Debate, hey, I'll debate him on this topic. And then he said, no, fine. And then he started saying the same thing about me harming his family, right? So that was the initial excuse for Matt Dillahunty retweeting my refutation of Steve that I was harming his family. So that's fine. That's fine, And I think he was using Sweet Heathen to kind of co-sign that. And she did. And I think she did. And now she regrets it. And that's fine. It's fine. But I think that's where we're at right now. So it's time to, be done with that. But again, I still owe you that one last video showing why atheism in philosophy is not what Steve says it is. It's never been. And one last thing. I do want to say this since I'm just throwing out all these things in my mind. I honestly have to thank Steve. I know it's going to be shocking. I know you guys are like, what the fuck? What he said? No, check this out. I have learned so much about this topic trying to debunk Steve that he has increased my knowledge just in the topic of philosophy in general. And to that exercise of actually going and learning about this topic, that was valuable. For instance, one of the things that I did not know is how to evaluate academic sources in philosophy. I absolutely didn't know. So when Steve says something like, I have 12 papers in psychology that say this, I didn't know how to evaluate those 12 papers to determine if they were good papers or if they were bad papers, right? I just didn't know. But in doing the exercise to try to evaluate it, I then went to Princeton University. And guess what? They have a whole section of how to evaluate philosophical sources to see if they're credible or not. Then I went to Cornell. Then I went to Oxford. And I just learned so many new and interesting things just about the topic of atheism, trying to confirm what Steve has said. One of the more interesting things I found out was just how to evaluate authorship. Yesterday we were in Discord, and I asked the people in Discord. I said one thing. I said, "Do it, and let's do it in the chat here. Do you guys think Richard Dawkins' book, The God Delusion, is an academic work in philosophy?" Now press 1 for yes and 2 for no. So 1, you believe Richard Dawkins' book, The God Delusion, was an academic source, and 2, you don't believe it's an academic source. Come to find out, it is probably one of the most cited. Now, I'm assuming most people are going to say no, but here is the answer. It is an academic source. Yes, it is an academic source. Matter of fact, the type of academic source it is, it's cited by Steve's sources as a source. Crazy, right? Crazy. Richard Dawkins' book, The God Delusion, is one of the most cited philosophical sources out there, even cited by Steve's sources. I was shocked. I was shocked because I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was. And just kind of revelations like that. What is a good philosophical source? What just looking through this and going through this process has helped me grow in my understanding. So, even with this horrible thing that's happened over the past couple of days, there's still something good that comes out of it. It's still something good. Exactly. Bigzebra.com. Hey, thanks for the chat, for the comment. But he says, I don't think it's a philosophical work. Me neither. Until I actually looked and said, oh my God, it is. And it's cited in so many different philosophical papers and academic sources. It is crazy. It is crazy. But it's not surprising. But it is crazy. It is cited by Steve's own sources. And the reason why I found it out is because I looked through Steve's sources, like his sources, and looked at their references and found out his references get pointed. I'm like, why do they keep pointing at the God Delusion? Boom, the God Delusion. Wow. So, but just going through that process, and that's what my next video goes through. It goes through my process of how to evaluate it, do all this, and kind of leads to a conclusion that hopefully most people agree with. So it's fascinating. It's just been a fascinating journey. So, there are some bad things, being called worse than Warden and all this stuff. Those are horrible things. But then you have some good stuff, where we're just, evaluating, what is good. And I figured out one thing. As skeptics, as people who don't believe in the God question, who don't believe in the God concept, one of the things that I've really found out is that we are just as susceptible to, how do I want to put this, to religious thinking or to theistic ideology. And what do I mean by that? For the past 5 years, Steve has been making this claim, right? In philosophy, the overwhelming majority of papers cite atheism as a belief that gods do not exist, right? That has been what he's been saying for the past 4 years. And no one, not even myself, I believe that claim. I agreed with Steve. Just to be clear, I agreed with Steve with that claim. I believed it. Was wrong. A claim that I'm telling you, for the past 4 years, I believed it. But I never checked it. I never looked. I never thought about his reasoning. I just believed him blankly. Just like when I was a Christian, I just believed the precept they're telling me God exists and men walked on water and all that. I just believed them. No questions. I just believe Steve. No questions asked. And that's true. I just believed it. And then when I researched it, I found it was BS. And I believed that thing for years. For years, I believed that claim. And when I researched it, it was BS. Steve's claiming in philosophy, the overwhelming consensus was, and that was false. And it wasn't a lie. I don't want to say it was a lie. It was a false claim. And now there are still people who are still believing that claim now. There are thousands of people that Steve has out there on his side that believe that claim, and it is a false claim, objectively false. I'm not even, and my next video is going to go after exactly why it's objective, but it is objectively false. No doubt about it, objectively false. And we are still susceptible to that. We are still susceptible. Think about, and to show you how bad it is. Steve's argument is that he's read 10 papers that all use atheism as a belief. But how many papers do you believe? So I went on Google Scholar and I typed in atheism and lack of belief, and I put them in quotes. So, only give me papers that are atheism, lack of belief, and then only give me philosophical papers. I want to ask you guys, guess how many papers Google Scholar came back with that had those exact terms: lack of belief, atheism, and philosophy. How many papers do you think were out there? So you guys don't have to guess. 140,000 papers in philosophy that use atheism, lack of belief, right? Now, the way they used it, we don't know. But there were over 140,000 papers that pulled up on Google Scholar. So then Steve is now saying, because he's read 10 papers that use it one way, he's now saying that that's the overwhelming consensus in philosophy. How can he extrapolate the other 140,000 papers from a sample size of 10, 12? Do you think matter of fact, let's even give him 20. Like, really? Really? And again, I believe this. It's not just you. It's not just you. I believe this. All right. I believed this crap. I believed it to be true. I did. I believed it. I went and I was like, this is, I believe this. Like, he even says it now. I got 12 papers on my side. I'm like, how was I so fooled? How come I did it's a simple Google search disproved it all. So yeah, I don't think you can make an overwhelming assumption about what happens when you make when you only have a sample size of 10 and there's 140,000 different articles. It just is what it is. Yeah, it's all just opinion. That's a good. But I'm just going through my process here, and so I think after this next video, I'm gonna leave them to their own devices, because it's. I honestly feel sad for them, and I don't know. I honestly feel sad for Steve. I feel sad because this is all he has, right? Like, I go back in my apartment behind you. I got 2 kids. I got a beautiful wife. I got a brand new car. It's things are going well. My channel's doing well, and this is all he has. And it seems like he has to protect this to make it. And I understand. And I think if you think about it that way, you understand why he's protecting it in such a vitriol way, because it's all he has. It's all he has. And it's I don't know. It's maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. Think about this. And believe me if you want. I went from law enforcement for 10 years, decided that's not what I wanted to do anymore. Went to law school, became one of the top students in my law school. I was one of the top students in my law school. I was teaching other students while I was in law school how, like the teachers would say, go speak to Nate if you want to learn something. That's how huge I was in law school. I got straight A's in law school. My first couple of semesters, my GPA ending out of law school was a 3.63 or something like that. It was like 3.6. It was something crazy, right? So I was one of the highest. I had one of the highest GPAs in my law school. Then I went to work for the DA's office, and they hired me on the spot. Then I left the DA's office to go teach at a law school, which I did for 2 years. So, it's and then on the other side, I'm on the internet arguing with GMan, who works at the bottom. No, don't get me wrong. It's just this is just the facts. He works at the bottom of the basement of a hardware store. Fine, I'll talk to anybody. We're sharing ideas, and now I'm talking to another guy who used to work for Kohl's. He was a sales associate. Fine, but has no degree and is telling us how to evaluate academic sources, and it's probably never even looked it up. Never looked it up. He's never looked up how to evaluate his sources. So this is where we're at. And now their claim that I'm not an attorney, it's fine. Like for instance, let me just be very clear. Steve doesn't. You will never hear Steve say I'm not an attorney. Why? Steve knows my real name. He knows where I worked. Steve knows what I did, and he knows that I'm actually an attorney. Matter of fact, Steve had a stream when I got the job at the law school to become the professor in the law school. Steve had a stream, congratulated me, and it was great. And, we were friends, and it was great. And so Steve knows that one time I accidentally doxed myself on his channel, where somebody called my job to verify that I was an attorney. That's when I was at the DA's office, and then Steve, he hooked me up with that. So Steve absolutely 100% knows that I'm an attorney and my qualifications. That's no doubt about it. That's what, and I got to give credit where credit is due. He will not say that I'm not an attorney, which is fine. He doesn't say he's going to withhold those. So that's fine. GMan, for instance, absolutely knows. Red's rhetoric absolutely knows. Why? Because when we all met, he saw my ID, because with the DA's office, they give you a badge and ID card. He saw it because I showed it to him and GMan. And GMan, I still remember GMan what he said. He said when he met myself, Fiona, Reds, Hannah, and so we're all there. Who else was there? Was like somebody else there. I'm missing somebody. I'm sorry. Vincent. So we're all talking, and so GMan turns to me, pulls me to the side, and he FaceTimes me and Antonio. Antonio Fletcher is got another internet guy. So he turns to me and he says, "Can I ask you something?" And I'm like, "What's up?" He was like, "Brother to brother." So I'm like, "All right, brother to brother, black man to black man. All right, ask me something, black man. Ask me something." He said, "How come all you atheists have all these degrees? Do they just give it to you guys?" And I said, "What?" He thought that just that you go to a school and say, "I'm an atheist. Here's a degree." I said, "No. Oh, I think we got sorry about the noise in the background. Oh, JD yeah, JD was there. No, it's funny because so he thought that just because you're an atheist, they give you a degree like, congratulations, you're an atheist. I was like, no. But and to be honest with you, I assume he was saying it in a jokey manner, but it was just crazy. So yeah, and so he was it's so impressed, like, damn, we got all these PhDs, everybody who's an atheist, and and he was when I was speaking, when we were all speaking, the proudest things that it's interesting to see how people react to when you to just their interactions with you. True Empiricism and GMan both, when they introduce themselves to people who don't know them, the first thing they'll say is, "I talk to PhDs online and tell them where they're wrong." GMan says, "I talk to a lawyer online, and this is where I get the." And even when we hung out, he had me meet his friends and well, I didn't meet his family, but he had me meet his friends and say, and he didn't introduce me. "Hey, this is Nate, some guy I know online. Hey, this is a lawyer that I know online." And just being associated with these people brought them some type of some type of meaning that, hey, we're just not like everybody else. We have some value, and they do. True Empiricism, GMan, Steve McCurry, they all have value. I'm not saying that you don't have to have a degree to have value, but I think if you want to have that kind of self-value, you go out there and just do the work. Nothing's stopping them from getting their degrees right now, right? You can go online and get your degrees, but I think it's laziness. Nothing's stopping True Empiricism from going and getting his degree or GMan. It's just laziness. It's easy to talk to somebody who's done the work and say that you're on that level than to actually do the work. You know what I'm saying? Doing the work is hard. Talking about it is easy. So, but yeah, so anybody, listen, if people want to believe that I'm not an attorney, so be it. I can't convince you. If you're agnostic on that, I don't blame you. It just is what it is. Let me see. There's also jobless gobbers telling Nate. Oh yeah. It's funny because now I'm running my own business, and it's weird because I'm actually doing better now with this whole, but it's Yeah, actually, I'm not doing better now. What am I talking about? I'm doing worse now because now all my businesses really stopped. Yeah, it's like this virus thing, this coronavirus thing, has really killed all my, because I'm a solo practitioner, so I have clients who I advocate for. So I had 3 clients. So I was doing some pro bono work. So you guys know, in New York, I was doing some pro bono work with people whose families were dying, let's say, of coronavirus. So people would have family members who would die. So I would help them through the process of, like closing up their affairs and things of that nature. And I was doing that for free. And then I had some paid clients who I was working with, suing different places. But now you can't sue anybody because the courts are closed and everything. So it's really just dried up, all my income from that way. So now, when you have your own business and you're trying to, drop the docs of your own business. I might have to. So when you're a solo practitioner, you do this, you try to, try to figure it out. So I'm just fortunate enough. I had some good savings, and I have this. This gives me some earning, but not enough to take care of a family. But it's pretty much that. That's just it. It's just pretty much it. Everybody's suffering out there, and I'm suffering with you guys. That's why I'm asking for channel memberships. That's why I ask for super chats, because we're all suffering. I wish I can say that everything is so great and so grand, but it just isn't. It just isn't. And I know a lot of people out there are hurting too. So it's funny because even the other time when I first got the join button for memberships, I was like, I should even ask people, because I know everybody's hurting out there. It's just tough. But it's just like, well, hey, if people have it, I'd appreciate it. If they don't, I'm more than fine than that. So well, I have, I think, talked my mind off for the past, what is it, 20 minutes. It's funny because I always tell Drag he's the best monologuer of us all, and my monologues need to get up to his game, but we'll see. I've been monologuing for about how long have I been monologuing here? Let me see the timer. 42 minutes, 42-minute monologue. So damn, 93 people. I didn't even look and see how many people are watching. Yeah. Oh wow. When I saw Steve's tweet where you had entered the atheist groups to teach them about compared about 6 years ago, it was a last straw for me. When I saw Steve's tweet where he had, sorry, let me put this up, Gob, so I can read it. Gob says, when I saw Steve's tweet where he said he enters atheist groups to teach them and compared us to 6-year-olds, that was the last straw for me. Hey, Gob, I hear you, brother. I hear you. About to prep for Talk Either today. Dragon's going on Talk Either today. Please go watch the show. Dragon's killing it. Drag, you got me so jealous. Talk Heathen, the live atheist experience. This is a Texas. They had to move to Texas if I want to do anything with you guys. My God, this is great. Well, listen, guys. I'm about to go because I got to go and, take care of the wife, and, probably going to play with the kids for Mother's Day. For all you mothers out there, have a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day. And for everybody out there who's not a mother, just have a great day. And listen, a couple of things. This isn't real life. This is just internet drama. And we can say and do things, and people can make mistakes. No one's perfect. I'm going to make many, and so are the people who I dislike. All we can ask is that you forgive us when we make our mistakes, and we will try not to make any more. And for all the people who I've harmed or who have felt that I've harmed them, I did so not in malice, but in ignorance. With that said, I'm going to say goodbye to you all and to have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll be seeing you later. My name is Nate, lawyer, YouTuber, and I'm out. Peace.